Hey, thanks for watching Razzle. Today I'm reviewing Inside Out. Inside Out is directed by Pete Docter, starring Amy Poehler, Bill Hader, Lewis Black, Mindy Kaling, and Phyllis Smith. So let's get this thing started. So basically, the plot of Inside Out is about a little girl named Riley and her personified emotions. All these emotions make up who she is. That it would be joy, sadness, disgust, fear, and anger. But under certain circumstances, joy and sadness accidentally get sucked out and they have to find their way back. And Riley and the other emotions kind of try to control Riley, and that's basically the plot of the film. I am a huge fan of Amy Poehler, and she plays Joy in this film. I thought she was really good. I thought she was really funny and quirky at times, and I thought she fit the role really well. The only thing I will say is for people that are fans of her show on Parks and Rec, the thing is, she kind of, when you're watching, you kind of hear Amy Poehler. She's really playing that Leslie Knope character. So as you're watching, it kind of takes you out. It took me out a little bit. It wasn't nearly as effective, I think, as Toy Story with Buzz and Woody, where they blended into the characters, and I was into it like the whole time. I just saw it as Woody and Buzz. In this, I'm seeing Joy, but sometimes I'm just like, oh, yeah, I'm just imagining Amy Poehler doing it. So it didn't merge as well as the Toy Story films, but still, she did a very great job. Phyllis Smith plays Sadness. Same basic thing as what I said about Joy and Amy Poehler. She was great. Thought she did really well. She was perfect casting for the role. Only thing was, she kind of plays in a lot of ways her role from The Office. Not in all ways, obviously, but in a lot of ways she kind of plays her role from The Office. So again, if you're a fan of The Office, it might take you out a little bit. It took me out a little bit, but still. Great job. The other emotions in the film are fear, anger, and disgust, played by Bill Hader, Lewis Black, and Mindy Kaling. I thought they were also really good, but they're not as big of the movie as I had hoped they'd be. But I thought they had some funny lines, and they were really good for the story, I thought, in a lot of ways. So yeah, I have no complaints about them as well, but I'm not going to talk about them too much in depth. There's another character in the film that was my absolute favorite in the film, absolutely 100% favorite in the film. I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not going to say too much about it because in the trailers they never say anything about this character or anything, and they just kind of show up and they become a big part of the movie. And I think that this character had the most heart and the most was probably the funniest and the most heart in the movie. So I would say you'll know it when you see who the character is. I'm assuming you'll probably get the same feelings I do for the character. It's just a great character, but I don't want to talk about it too much because I don't want to give it too much away. So yeah, look forward to that unknown mystery character. Pixar is great at bridging the gap between children and adults. On the surface, this film is more of a childish movie. It's actually not the funniest Pixar movie I've seen by a long shot. I didn't find myself laughing too much. There was a couple things in there that I thought were really funny, but it wasn't it wasn't even like the Despicable Me films by Illumination. Those movies, I think, are hilarious. I can't stop laughing at those movies. This movie wasn't as funny as those movies, but it had its quirkiness and it had its fun, and there were some lines in there that were really funny. The core theme, the core lesson of the film is very effectively executed. It's something for me that I could personally relate to big time. The core lesson that they're trying to present to the audience, I thought it was really well executed. So I mean, as Pixar always does, having deeper and more thought-provoking themes in the film for the adults, more so than just the kids. I thought that was very effectively done in the film. Very happy about that. Really well done by Pixar. Okay, well, the movie, I really enjoyed the movie and everything. I really loved it. It is it's not a perfect film. I know on Rotten Tomatoes it has 100%, I think, as of right now, and everything, but it isn't a perfect film. There's a lot of flaws I had with the movie. One of the big flaws for me, in the middle, I don't really want to talk too much about the plot, but in the middle it feels like it's dragging because it's kind of playing a little bit of cat and mouse. So it kind of feels like it's dragging in the middle. The movie is only about an hour and I think 45 minutes, but it feels a lot longer because in the middle, while it is fun, there's a lot going on in that middle section that it's hard because it feels like it really starts to drag, and it's like it doesn't feel like we're making any progression, and that's a huge issue I had with the movie. This next negative is kind of hard because it's really a critique of the entire film, and if they were to try to fix it, it would take a whole changing the film, which I don't want them to change the film, but it's just something for me that I think could have made the film more effective, or it would have made the movie more effective for me. So I'm gonna talk about it right now. Okay, for me, as I was watching the movie, the greatest moments were when we were watching Riley and the emotions, building her to who she was and looking at things from her past. And just Riley is the big connecting factor between me as an audience to the film. I connected most when I was seeing Riley with all the emotions, choosing things for her to do, and it just gave me the most emotional response. Like I said, the plot of the film is about sadness and joy, shooting up and accidentally getting out of the mainframe of the brain, and they have to find their way back. During that point, that's a big part of the middle of the film. It's just, there's a huge... Riley as a person, as a character, she changes. She's not the same character anymore because she doesn't have joy or sadness anymore. So she's kind of become something different to an unrelatable way, because she becomes something where she's not, it just isn't human anymore because she doesn't have joy or happiness, or joy or sadness. So it becomes something of being a little unrelatable. I felt more disconnect from Riley as a character, where in the first part of the film, I felt really connected and really invested as her in a character. So during that time, there's a huge disconnect as an audience because I feel like I just can't connect with her as much, and that was the most effective part of the film. So during that big stretch in the middle period of the film, I felt disconnected more, and we were more focused on joy and sadness, less so than Riley, because Riley's world is just kind of falling apart because she doesn't have all of her emotions. The movie does still get really emotional and stuff anyway, so don't worry about it. It still has that Pixar emotion. There's one scene in particular in the film that gave me the feels big time. I was like, oh no! It's just like, oh, now you're gonna break my heart, Pixar. So don't worry, the movie's still very emotional, so don't worry about that. Alright guys, I'm gonna wrap this up because I feel like I've been talking for a long time. Inside Out, I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. Go see the movie, guys. I don't think you need me to tell you to go see a Pixar movie. When Pixar makes a movie, you go see it, other than the Cars films. For some people like the Cars films, but not for me. Alright, so thanks for watching. Thanks for watching, Razzle. We have other film reviews online. You can go check them out. Zach and his fiance Sam, they made a awesome trailer review of Hunger Games, the Hunger Games movie. Go check that out. Comment, subscribe, like. Thanks very much, guys. Have a good one.